Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life, and T-Mobile failed. T-Mobile failed. So to give you guys the backstory, this past weekend, Coldplay, for those of you who are familiar with that band, they had a concert here in El Paso. It took place at the Sun Bowl Stadium, and which is very rare and unique for us. We usually don't have these type of big events. And to top it off, this was the only city in Texas where Coldplay hosted a concert. The only place in Texas. The only stop in Texas was El Paso. So it was going to be packed, right? You're going to have people coming from out of state, right? From Louisiana, other parts of Texas, like the Metroplex, San Antonio, Austin, Phoenix, any city that's within close radius. People are going to flock here to get to this concert, right? 2 nights, Friday night, Saturday night. So it was going to be packed. So you're talking 50,000+ people that can fit inside of the Sun Bowl, and probably a little more, probably closer to 60,000, right? Then you talk about the event staff, and then you got to consider everyone that's in the surrounding radius of this stadium. So if I had to take a guess, the sectors, the towers that are there, the sectors, during this period where this concert was going on, probably had about 70,000 people on, trying to use their phones. And I know it's split between all the carriers. I get that, I understand that. So there's some Verizon share, some AT&T share, and then some T-Mobile share. But we can guesstimate, right? The market share here, looking at everything, T-Mobile probably had the most amount of customers at this event, right? So come to find out, and this first picture, by the way, is T-Mobile that added some additional equipment. You could see it off here to the left. That's added equipment for further capacity. T-Mobile has a site inside the stadium. It's a 3-sector site on the opposite side of this picture, but they added additional capacity. So I spoke with somebody that actually went to the concert that had T-Mobile, and they had a horrible experience on the network. They said they couldn't send any messages, and you could see it here. Apparently my mom was even trying to call me, and the call wouldn't go through. Half the messages I sent you didn't go through either. So we were messaging back and forth, and I noticed right away when I sent her a message on iMessage, it didn't say deliver. Right. So at the bottom, I wasn't able to get the messages through to her. And then every now and then the message would come in, but it would be a text message. So that already alerted me like, oh, yeah, T-Mobile is insanely congested at this event. Right. Even with the added equipment, the tower that was already upgraded to N41, even with all that, it still wasn't enough. It was just too congested where calls couldn't even be placed, or incoming calls, outbound, inbound, whatever, it just wouldn't work, right? It wasn't working. She said she tried to make some calls and it just wasn't working. So again, I don't know how that fared for everyone there, right? I'm still trying to track down some reports from Verizon and AT&T on this event. Like I said, this is a very rare event for the city of El Paso. You're talking about the size, like if we're talking people, right, of like a Super Bowl event, like 80,000 people that are in a certain small area, right? So very rare, doesn't happen. Hasn't happened since I think One Direction was here, the band, and that was like years ago. So this is for many, it was a once in a lifetime opportunity to see Coldplay. And the carrier, I don't know how everyone else performed. I'm still trying to track that down. But what I do know is T-Mobile just had a rough time at this event. And then here's another picture of the equipment from behind that was added. It probably since already has been removed, if I had to take a guess. This is just temporary equipment. I don't think this was anything permanent that the carriers added. So T-Mobile didn't invest enough. That's clear. They were aware of this event. They knew it was coming. They added, so they invested some, but it just wasn't enough for the amount of people that the network had to carry. So yeah, T-Mobile failed. I'm sure for T-Mobile, that's a lesson learned. So the next time something like that happens at the Sun Bowl, I can only assume that they would definitely add more cell on wheels or whatever else to have the network, at least working to where it at least works. But for now, it wasn't enough. T-Mobile failed. But oftentimes failing is a good thing because you learn and then the next time you correct your mistake. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.